Both my parents worked shift work when I was young. And while that was happening with shift work on the weekends, I stayed with my grandmother most of the time. And we lived down in New Orleans, in Metairie, and she didn't drive. So on Sundays, we would either walk to the bus stop to go to church, or we would walk to church. And that was all dependent on the weather. And if it was raining, we went to the Lutheran church. And if it was sunny or good weather, we went to the Methodist church because it was a shorter walk to the Lutheran church from the bus stop. It's kind of how I got involved. And, both of my grandparents, I never met my grandfather, but on my dad's side, they were both Salvation Army officers, and they ran boys and girls camps. He was a minister and a chaplain. And so I think that's kind of where the upbringing in faith came from. But it was kind of funny because with my parents working shift work, if I wasn't at my grandparents, we went to church, but we were more of the Easter, Christmas kind of church goers. I can remember being there at church for Christmas, but as far as all the time, it wasn't a steady thing. When we moved up to Baton Rouge from New Orleans, we started going to the Methodist church pretty much full time. Found a home at a church here in Baton Rouge, and man, I grew up there. I went to summer day camp there. That's how I started, actually. Summer day camp there, Sunday school, confirmation, went into the youth group all the way from 7th on up to senior year. A huge youth group, which really got me more involved in church probably than anything in life. And I was growing in a relationship in faith and probably didn't even realize it because I was having so much fun at church. Senior year, it was great fun, all the way up. And we had like a senior breakfast for graduation, and then it was pretty much right then and there, everything dropped off because, we weren't expected. I think we were allowed to go, but it was like you had graduated, so you graduated from the youth group too, just like you graduate from school. It's like you're not going to go back to school after your senior year and check it out, but it's kind of how things went. There was maybe one Sunday school class that was offered at the church for college age or kids that had graduated high school, but there wasn't much past that point. I went off to college for a year out of town. Didn't really know anybody when I left, so kind of got into a little trouble out there. Nothing bad, but a little trouble. But by the time I had come home, I was running with the wrong people, running with the wrong crowd. Church wasn't a priority anymore. August of 2001, that that group I was running with, my best friend got killed. And shortly before that, him and 3 others had gotten arrested on a night I was supposed to be with them, doing some stuff that we weren't supposed to be doing. I didn't happen to make it, luckily. And a couple months later, he had gotten killed, and I was supposed to be with him. And that did not help my relationship with God. There was a lot of question, a lot of doubt. I had lost friends prior to that, and I lost a lot of friends after that, which only piled on doubt and question. What changed was I had my first daughter, and then my second in 2010, and I was in law enforcement in 2005, same year I got married is when I got started with that. And it was easy to be a cop and not have a good relationship with God. I think it's harder to be a cop and have one. I'll put it that way. But what changed for me was the older my kids got, the more I realized that they needed to have a moral compass And in my eyes, what better place to gain a moral compass but in church, which landed my wife and I back in the same church that I grew up in. It was easy for us we lived near the church. Um, with kids waking up on a Sunday morning, it's easy to go to the close place. So we went there, and I tell you what, the longer I sat there, I noticed that they didn't have the things that I grew up with anymore. And we moved out to Central, and we started church shopping, looking for something better for the kids. And I'll be honest, my relationships still wasn't there. It was more of I was a vessel, just kind of floating around. I was church shopping, but didn't know what I was shopping for except for a place. Some different Methodist churches because that's where we were comfortable, and then we landed here. It wasn't a priority. Church, it was a priority more for my kids, but it wasn't always a priority for me. And I realized I had to start making it a priority for myself. I decided I needed that. I needed to go back to church now for myself and for my kids. The new men's group started, and somebody in there had actually told me, they were like, "Man, I think I learned more about you in an hour at the first men's group than I've ever known about you." And I explained, I said, I don't know why I decided to open up. I don't know why I decided to talk. Something moved me to talk. And probably about 6 months before that, I realized that my youngest daughter was kind of struggling with that relationship with God. And I guess for me, it's easy for me to struggle, but it's not easy for me to watch her struggle. And we talked, and I said, I haven't always known where I stand. But as far as God's concerned and Jesus is concerned, I know a lot better with him than I am without him. That kind of opened up my doors to realizing I needed to build on myself. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life and how bad you think the things you've done or how bad of a person you think you are, you can still have a relationship with God. And there's still something there for you. Forgiveness is a big thing. It's there for your taking. You just got to have that faith.